SOLIDWORKS 2021 has a huge set of new features and performance enhancements. Let's take a closer look at some of them right now. One of the first things you'll notice when using SOLIDWORKS Visualize 2021 is the use and awareness of configurations from your SOLIDWORKS model. Now, when you bring in a SOLIDWORKS model with configurations into Visualize, you will see that there is a nice drop-down showing all the configurations available to you, making great use of those abilities to hide and show parts for different types of renderings. Applying appearances has always been a simple drag and drop in Visualize, but now when you're selecting parts, you have direct access to the appearances without switching modes. And all you have to do is double click on the part. So single click on the part will select the part as normal, double click will then select that part's appearance. That's a huge step up in terms of ease of use for the UI because you're not switching between part selection, material selection modes. You basically stay in part selection mode, single click for a part selection, double click to get the material. Very handy going forward in 2021. This bracket is going to be 3D printed using an additive manufacturing process. So let's make some changes to its appearance to make it look realistically like it was coming off a 3D printer. We'll go ahead and change the color. Of course, we could always do that with our appearances in Visualize. But we also want to make use of a bump map, essentially. So that's going to be a 2D raster image, and the way it's interpreted is white areas are high, black areas are low, gray or color areas are in between. And essentially what's happening is we're creating texture out of basically an image mapped onto our model. And we'll use a displacement style to show how that works. And you can see here that it's not looking all that great the way it is, but now in 2021, we have the option to change the displacement density as a setting directly in the appearance itself. And what this allows us to do is to take any given bump map displacement and tweak it to make it look the way you want to. In this case, it's looking kind of extreme, actually. It's a little much. So that's okay. We can always just change that, right? We'll switch out and just drag and drop another texture on there, another appearance with that texture that we want, which is a little more suitable. And we can change, of course, things like its mapping and its direction and its angle, so we can kind of match the bump map angle and direction to the way the part would be printed in an additive sort of FDM fashion on our printer. Let's use configurations to switch to another set of parts in this assembly that I want to use for a separate rendering treatment. And what I want to do in this case is I want to do some cutaways. So we're going to use a cutting plane. This is something that we've had in SOLIDWORKS Visualize before. It's very simple. You add a new cutting plane. You can have more than one at a time, and you just drag it to the position you want, change the angle using the handles, etc. New, however, in Visualize 2021 are two very popular enhancements, which are first having the ability to have a cut plane cap, and secondly, to be able to change that cap color. So being able to put a cap on there and then change the color really gives me a lot of cool ways to cut this thing and show it in a stark visual manner. There are times that photorealistic rendering is not the best kind of visual language to use for things like proposals. And new in SOLIDWORKS Visualize Professional 2021, we have a new type of camera filter called the Tune filter. And this is one of my favorite enhancements of all. This allows me to use a number of presets or mix and match to get really cool illustrative language looks of these renderings. So I can do white on black or black on white. I can introduce ambient occlusion. Gives me a lot of really cool ways to make this look my own, because I can change the color or the style of the outlines interchangeably in addition to the presets. So that gives me some really great flexibility beyond just photorealistic rendering. Now, additionally, in SOLIDWORKS Visualize 2021, we can now output all these different looks, like the beauty channel, the alpha channel, all in one render operation. Before we could do these, but we'd have to have different operations for each one. Now we can just do it all in one go. So then set in one shot, choose the layers you want to output, and then let it go one operation, and it'll do that and output all these different layers for me. So that's just some of what's new in SOLIDWORKS 2021. To find out more, go to www.gsc-3d.com today.